Serious, employers, what's the most insane complaint you've had about an employee that turned out to be completely true?
I was the head night auditor at an upscale airport property. Had a youngish night auditor who put a room into out-of-order status and let his friends in to party and have an orgy that he joined during his lunch break. He got caught because of a noise complaint. Police called, he was fired and blacklisted from being hired back.
Hired a guy on a trial basis. He was super polite and careful when speaking to me, but several of my female employees told me when I wasn't around he was creepy. After about 5 days, one came to me and said almost verbatim, "I think he's a rapist." She just had a gut feeling about him. So I ran a background check on him. Yep, he was a convicted rapist.
Working in a bank, had a teller, about 19-year-old, get pissed about the way a customer, retail store owner, would send in her deposits at the drive-up window. The teller complained about the customer on Facebook, tagged the lady personally, as well as the store. Customer called the bank and told me, furious of course. I told the customer we would investigate. I asked the teller. She straight up admitted it, and says, "What's the customer or branch manager going to do about it?" My grandfather is friends with the bank president. I called HR and bank president on conference. Girl lost her job in under 15 minutes of me receiving the call from the customer. Breach of customer confidentiality in banking is a major law violation.
I had a guy call in sick so he could go to the same company's Christmas party.
This definitely won't be as crazy as all the other stories, and is definitely not even closest to the craziest person I've had to go to HR about was called in to report on, but it really stuck with me. This guy was bullying another one really, really badly. Like American high school movie in 80s badly. Reason? He was from out of town. That was it. I thought there had to be more to the drama, went to the place, interviewed a few people, watched it happen myself, and damn, yeah, it seemed like this guy could not take the fact that this kid, 20s, was from another state. I was absolutely expecting the sort of drama that building was more famous for, baby daddies, sleeping with someone's wife, etc. Nope.
When I worked at Sam's Club, one of the cashiers pocketed a few grand from his drawer and put it on Facebook. We were a new club, so if that much money went missing, it would have taken them a while to figure out. Or so I was told. One of the managers overheard and they put 2 and 2 together. He got arrested and was fired.
Local hardware store had an employee jacking and putting it in a coworker's coffee. True story. People found out and he was arrested.
So I worked retail and we got this guy named something like Gus. My boss tells me, "Hey, this guy's got anxiety, go easy on him, okay?" And so I was like, okay, that's cool, I get it, I can relate. I do everything I can to help him make sense of the infernal godforsaken hellscape that is retail. It starts off with little forgivable things, forgetting a task here, forgetting things there, accidentally giving the wrong info and things like that. You know, newbie retail stuff like that. He quickly devolved in popularity as his complacency grew over time and his helpful attitude shrank. My guy started beep around during his shift, getting caught on his phone while ignoring backup cashier calls and things like that. He would make stabbing motions behind the manager's back to other employees, tell off new employees, and play it all off like he was some innocent dope who didn't know any better. None of this got him fired. Day after day was a new complaint from an employee about responsibilities he shirked or a customer about blatantly wrong info like, "Oh yeah, we have another location up on the hill," and we didn't. No idea whose son he was, because that was apparently all kosher. What actually got him fired is the one day he brought a dog and a super expensive dog collar into work. He claimed he almost hit the dog on the way to work and it was running around wild, etc., etc. He tried to sell the dog collar to a customer, then tried to adopt out the dog to a coworker. This coworker was competent enough to take the dog to a vet, whereupon they found a microchip and contacted the actual owners. That's where the fun started. It came out that Gus never found the dog at all. He straight up kidnapped this dog from his neighbor and tried to pawn it off, knowing full well what he was doing. The guy lawyered up immediately, tried to sue Gus and threatened to sue the store and the store manager if Gus wasn't fired. Suffice to say, Gus was gone the very same evening. Nothing else came of it, but we talked about him for years and years.
She left an unbelievable and unflushable gigantic turd both in and out of the toilet. I went into the bathroom to deal with what was surely an exaggeration, and probably a nasty diarrhea mess. But no. There was a single unbroken enormous log that was hanging down over the outside of the toilet seat, going up over the seat and back down through the hole into the drain as far as the eye could see. All in one piece. Flushing had no effect. None. It didn't budge, it didn't wiggle. Nothing. Gravity didn't even pull it apart where it hung over the side of the bowl halfway to the ground. It was unbelievable. No one knew what to do. No one wanted to clean it up. Someone wondered aloud if we should send her to the hospital. Honestly, I can't remember what happened next, only that there were tools involved, but I can still see that monster turd like it was yesterday. It was in 1997. I could never look her in the face again. I just kept wondering how. Maddie, wherever you are, I hope you're doing better.
We had this guy as a delivery driver. Super nice, quiet, never showed any signs of anger even in stressful situations. We started getting calls mainly from older women, that our delivery driver, we had our logo on both front doors, was cutting off, flipping off, yelling CNT at these women. I didn't believe it at first. I thought maybe they cut him off, he honked, they wanted him fired, so made up some big story. Then the back window got busted out of the vehicle. And then the radio looked like it got punched out for whatever reason. Everything came together and we found out he had huge anger issues. He stopped showing up, so it solved itself, but it was crazy how good of a front he put on.
Night shift at a packing line. E had 2 new temps and they were polar opposites. One super bubbly religious guy who was pretty emotional, cried during his favorite songs. The other guy was grunge, pretty cynical but a damned good worker. Well, they both ended up working on adjacent lines and I was training them. Things were great till the bubbly guy decided it was his mission to befriend the grunge guy. Grunge dude wanted to be left alone so he could work, but bubbly guy kept going to our team lead to tell her he couldn't understand why grunge wouldn't be his friend. My team lead comes down and tells them to play nice and be friends. She was despised by most of our crew, she's oblivious. I told her that Bubbles needs to leave grunge alone, but she wouldn't have it. Grunge walked out, and Bubbles cried for 2 nights straight, then never came back.
That employee took a woman's phone number from her account at the store we worked at and called her. I never thought anyone was that stupid.
Happened recently. Driving job. I don't really have to worry about the person recognizing this. He sucked so bad with computers that I nearly ended up with a manslaughter charge during onboarding. Okay. I get this person through onboarding, my boss and HR get him through orientation, we set him out to train. Trainer comes in, exasperated. Dude can't drive, the easy part of the job. He can't secure cargo, the more challenging, but still easy part of the job. He starts crying while driving. He ignores instruction. This goes on for a week. Trainer says he's not going to pass the guy. I tell my boss his options are to either have him retrain under another trainer, do a ride-along, draw his own conclusions, or term the guy. Eventually, my boss does the ride-along. The guy nearly causes a wreck, while doing exactly what he was told not to do, with me in front of him not 3 minutes ago. During his ride-along, he runs 2 stop signs and nearly has a head-on collision. Boss wanted to give him another week as long as he didn't beep up his paperwork. This is my domain, and I've been known to make people reconstruct their entire day from scratch if they beep it up bad enough. He proceeds to back out of the lot with both hands off the wheel. Yeah, that's it.
Had someone turn in a coworker for doing 90 plus on an interstate with a loaded trailer on the back. Guy insists he wasn't going that fast. Installed GPS. He was. Fired him. He was stunned.
Casual Matthews.
May your day be filled with joy and happiness. And please remember to subscribe to Upvote for the best quality content every day.